This is Water Elemental.
With Jolly Green.
And this is the Hexology podcast, talking everything Hex Shards of Fate. We actually haven't done one of these in a while.
I know! We kind of skipped over the Prime beta talk, but that's what we're going to do now. We're going to talk about the beta. And that's what we're going to do now. We're going to talk about the beta.
Woo! We've had about a good week and a half to talk about it. We've gone through a lot of the Prime features, everything that they've released, some of the new cards, some of the new features, and of course the fact that everything is going to be permanent.
Yeah, nothing's going to be just wishy-washy balancing now. It's going to be actual changes that are going to be making a difference. I think they have a good idea of what they want to do with the overall concepts, and now it's just going to be tweaking and adding polish.
Yeah, so the first thing we should probably talk about is our first impressions. You saw my first impressions kind of in that video. If you haven't seen it, link down below. But what do you think of the beta as far as your first experiences with it? How you feel?
Well, I think they improved upon the interface more than anything. It's much cleaner, it's much easier to use, it's faster. And I just feel like the quality of life while playing the beta console is a lot higher than it was in the alpha.
Yeah, you can actually choose if you want to go first or second now, which is a very, very helpful tool.
Yeah, absolutely. And just various functions, searching, everything just, I don't know, it just gels well to me, and I'm very pleased with how it has turned out. It was just a massive jump between alpha and beta. I thought it was just going to be like, okay, we're going to arbitrarily determine that we're in beta now, and it was just going to be the same thing. But no, it's fathoms better.
Yeah. You are a guild master.
Yes, I am.
You got a lot of perks. You want to talk about what you experienced when you actually got to unload that glorious booty of loot?
Man, it was less satisfying than actually opening the packs myself, but it was quicker. And one thing, when I open a whole bunch of packs, they sit around in the box, I have the best cards pulled out, and they go in my binder or deck or whatever. With this, I mean, they're already sorted. They're much easier to determine what I have, and yeah, everything was just cleaner, quicker, and it was a lot of fun dumping in 10 primal packs at once. It was just like, you get 5 million rares. Like, I got at least 3 of most rares, I got at least 2 of most legendaries, and I got well over a playset of every common and uncommon.
See, my problem was I only got, the majority of my rares were Ruby. The majority was Ruby rares out of the 50 packs I got.
Yeah, and that wasn't really a color we played around with you at least. You were mostly green, blue kind of areas, a little bit of black.
Yeah, and it's weird. It's not a bad thing. I got a lot of really cool. I got the Crown of the Primals, which is a really interesting card that they added. And it's a card I want to play around with, but I don't have a play set yet. And there's not a good way to find the cards you need yet, and that's a problem. Unless you want to unload more money than I've already put into the game.
Yeah, that's one thing about this beta now. No more free sandboxing.
Well, the alpha is still available if you want to sandbox, but if you want to kind of start building up your collection and building up your account, this is where you do it, is in the beta.
Yeah.
But it's nice to see. I wish we could actually fiddle around with those chests, but there's no real reliable way to get gold unless you win a tournament, and from our experiences, it's not that easy.
See, I'm glad they had a little forethought in giving us the chests ahead of time, because they knew it was something we wanted, it's something they promised in the Kickstarter, and they didn't want anybody who got in early to be shorted any of the perks. So they're like, you can have them, you can't open them yet, but you got them.
Yeah, it's killing me because I have more rare chests than I do have uncommons, so I'm just like, I want to open you.
Most of what's going to be in the chest is just going to be PvE stuff.
And cosmetic stuff,
yeah.
But I have that niche towards, ooh, alternate art cards, ooh, what's in here? Ooh, I get some new sleeves. I want that. I want this. I'm like, give me the cosmetic stuff.
And they haven't doled out everything, have they?
No.
'Cause
I got my backer sleeves and I got my alternate art cards, which I'm happy with. And I bet you have the same ones as me. But it's kind of cool to see what they have out right now and then what's going to be available.
When do you think they're going to start easing into the PvE?
I'm guessing they're letting the PvP stuff kind of cycle through. They're going to get the tournament system hopefully solid, and then they're going to start putting in the small PvE stuff, because I don't think they can add pretty much anything else to the PvP section right now.
Honestly, the PvP is fun, but the PvP is very familiar. It's a different look at a card game I've been playing for well over a decade. So, the PvE aspect I am so excited for, because I've never played an MMO with cards, and it's combining my two favorite hobbies, like World of Warcraft and Magic the Gathering. So, I just nerdgasm. That's pretty much all I have to say about that.
Yeah, they've been teasing kind of how the PvE is going to work, where there's going to be special cards that decks, like the opponent will have, and you'll be able to earn cards from those dungeons that you can add to your deck. One of them was the piranhas that we talked about last week.
Oh, yeah, piranhas.
Where they deal 1 damage, or no, you play it, and then you get to put 5/1/1 piranhas into play, which is really cool. Unfortunately, I can't find where I saw that, but it's stuff like that that's really cool, where it's themed to the dungeon you find it, and it has that flavor to it. And again, flavor is what I enjoy most about card games. Yeah, anybody can have a 1/1 attacker, but if it has flavor to the attacker, it's awesome.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Plus, I want my Spectral Lotus, my Spectral Loti.
I really regret not putting more money in, but I hated being broke at the time.
At the time, you're broke now, homie.
I just bought BlizzCon tickets, so yeah, I am broke.
Oh yeah, that's right. We're going to BlizzCon, bitches. Suck it.
We will also try our best to go to HexCon if it's close by and reasonable.
Yeah, but we don't know many details about that. We know there's an event and a dinner. That's pretty much it.
Yeah. But what's cool was, let's kind of step-by-step talk about what we saw. There's a new inventory system that if you had, chests, they'll be in there. If you have boosters that are unopened, they'll be in your inventory system. Your drafts, that's a thing that's in there now. Do you have unlimited drafts for a year, or did you just get the free drafts?
No, I have, I think my perk included 10 free drafts, and then a free draft every week for a year.
Okay, just so you know and everybody else knows, make sure you use that draft every week. They do not stack.
Yeah, they expire if you leave them unused, so use them.
I just want to make that clear.
I don't see any reason why people wouldn't be able to, unless you're like on vacation away from the computer or something, but a draft takes like an hour, and if you're going to be playing any video game, play this one.
You should have that dedication. I don't know. And when it's going to hit mobile is going to be nice, because you'll be able to do it on the go and, be able to set it down, play, probably waiting for coffee, and boop, done.
Boop, done. I feel like I'm going to have so many play sets of set 1 by the time this year's over. It's just going to be ridiculous.
I'm hoping that there's going to be a crafting system that allows us to kind of burn out old cards and let us turn them into kind of crafting materials so we can make cards that we're looking for. Because I already have about 15 of one card. I'm like, I only need like 8 of them at most. I don't need more than 8. I don't.
What reason would you ever need more than 4 aside from trade bait?
Trade bait is mainly why I would want 2 play sets. One set to play with and one set to kind of hand out if I ever need to play full set. Which I'm hoping the trading system comes in soon, so you and I can start trading to build decks.
Oh, yes.
The in-game currency is now available. I went over it in the my first impressions. It is a 1-to-1 scale for the United States right now. It's actually a little bit less. So for $5, you get roughly about 500 points.
Yeah, so a penny gets you a point.
Yeah, and it's $2 a pack, which is fairly reasonable considering most MOBAs and most free-to-play games have higher costs for most in-game transactions.
Well, if you think about it card game-wise, $2 seems reasonable for an online booster pack, because you're selling the intellectual property only. You're not selling the shipment, the packaging. You're not selling the actual cardboard or ink put on a card. You're removing all of that from the system, and you're getting pure intellectual property. So $2 seems reasonable, but I'm very curious to see what the secondary market in this game is going to turn out to be like. I know it's not going to be like Magic the Gathering, because if it were, I would feel much more leery about trading my stuff. Because just the thought of getting in the ground floor of this game and for some reason trading away or even giving somebody the equivalent of Mox or Power 9, I don't think I'd ever be able to live with myself for the entirety that I played this game.
And I wonder if there's going to be soul-bound cards you're not going to be able to trade, like your Spectral Lotus. Or your black or Tigers or whatever.
I imagine that's going to be the case with PvE stuff only.
Yeah.
I don't see why they would do that for PvP. That just seems dumb. You gotta have a thriving secondary market.
Yeah, exactly. Because people would trade, and then even if you're getting in-game currency for the cards, that's still cycling cards through players being able to remove currency, being able to add currency through gold, through platinum, and having that way for cards to cycle around, so not everybody's holding on to them.
If they have a trade system, period, there's going to be a black secondary market that's going to cut out the middleman entirely. You're going to be able to have people that agree upon a price, trade the card, pay the price over PayPal. I have no idea how they would ever be able to regulate that.
There's no way. Magic the Gathering Online is one of those sites that, or games, I should say, that use third-party sites like Amazon and eBay to sell larger quantity cards and cards that have a value in that game. So it's going to be hard to say what they're going to do. There might be a clause inside of the end-user agreement, like they do in World of Warcraft, where they say, if you are caught selling any cards outside of the main system, that is a permanent ban and lockdown of your account. If you're caught buying anything outside of the main terms, you're going to be locked out of your account.
But they're two different entities. Like, giving somebody money for gold, like, that's different in this game because you can buy gold from the source. You can pay Hex and they will give you the currency that you need. Whereas in most MMOs, the way you earn the currency is by performing tasks in the game. Now, there's two different currencies in this game. You have gold and you have platinum. I don't know if gold is going to be transferable between players.
Yeah.
Will it? Do you think it will?
I'm not sure. My was in agreement of you of like, yeah, that's something that's interesting to see what happens. We haven't heard anything yet. I'm just waiting to see how things are going to kind of transition from the PvP only to PvE.
Yeah, I'll be curious to see whether currency is transferable between either platinum or gold between players. They could go either way. If not, I don't see a real problem with that. If it's regulated through an auction house, then you're essentially giving people money for goods anyway, so who cares?
Yeah, but it's all up in the air, and it's all kind of speculation at this point. We're just waiting to hear from the Cryptozoic team on that matter.
Yeah, there's a lot we still have yet to know, but they're getting moving fast. They're already previewing more sets, more cards from Set 2.
And this card is not Jankbot.
It's not Jankbot. It's not a joke. It actually seems decently playable.
This was previewed on hextex.tv, and it is Mentor of the Song.
Now, it is a 3-cost, 2/1 Coyote Warlock blue creature with a 1 Sapphire threshold. It says, when this troop dies, transform it into an Oracle Song, and an Oracle Song is a Set 1 card that costs 3. It's a basic action, and it says target champion draws 2 cards. Now, to me, this just seems like a...
Interesting.
I don't know if it's an upgrade, I don't know if it's on par, I don't know if it's slightly worse, but it seems like if you're going to play Oracle Song in the deck, why wouldn't you just play this instead?
For 6 mana, you get a 2/1 to draw 2, essentially.
Well, and you don't have to pay the 6 up front. It's staggered.
Yeah.
But then again, there's a time delay of this thing having to die in order to get your 2 cards on another installment. So I'm not sure. 2/1 is weak for any 3-drop, and it's got to have a pretty bitchin' ability for it to justify it being a 2/1 for 3. I don't think an Oracle Song is going to do it. I'm calling this card below average, but more playable than Jankbot.
I do like the idea that they're going to have with this. I wonder if this is going to be a continued like mechanic where there's going to be mentors of different factions. You're going to have one for each color. Mentor of the blood would give you a murder, or mentor of the wilds would give you, something else, where these cards would transform, and there's one for each color. So that would be kind of a cool thing if it kind of has this whole mechanic, and there's going to be a whole set where cards will transform to other things, and that would make drafting and sealed and even constructed a lot more exciting.
Oh man,
where
this thing would be so good in limited.
I just had this revelation of all these really cool ideas for the cards that would transform them, just creatures that can transform to other creatures when they die. It's oh,
or even copying this guy, Replicator's Gambit.
Oh no.
Huh.
But the mechanic is great. I think the card itself is a little weak.
I'm gonna agree with you there. We'll see what happens. I do hope it is part of a series, like you said, like a theme. But that's our take on Mentor of the Song. If you completely disagree with us, feel free to chew us out in the comments. We really don't care. We just want some feedback, because we'll mention you or not, whatever you want. You want to fight about it?
Yeah, I want to fight about it. What are you going to do, huh?
Cry a little bit, maybe, but we'll see. But they also mentioned that tournaments are going to have variable rewards, like that you can choose to receive primal packs when winning packs in a tournament. Pineapple. They updated the gold rewards for tournaments. Lots of tournament stuff. This last patch was basically a big tournament fix and implementation of various features for tournaments. I feel like they are pretty solid on what they want to do with the balancing, and it's just a matter of implementing the code so that they get everything to mesh and work the way it should. Hey, speaking of code meshing, have you tried your Bramblethorn bullshit deck?
I don't have any.
You don't have a single Bramblethorn.
I think I have the Brambles, but I don't have the Warlock, so I haven't been able to try.
I guarantee I've got at least one. I'll try it out, see if it works a little better.
If it is, I'm gonna try to get a playset. I'll just be I'm gonna make this deck work.
That would be sweet justice, knowing that it works and you don't have a single damn one to use.
I'd just be happy that the card works, so later on down the road, when I actually have a play set of cards, I'll be I could finally make my plant deck.
It was the first stupid mechanic you wanted to play, and it never worked.
It was gonna be good. It would have been great. But no.
There were plenty of situations where your board presence, had it worked properly, would have just castrated me, driven me into the ground. But because when you tap your guys to make the Bramblethorns, it literally did nothing but shuffle your deck.
No, it would just tap and put a normal counter on it.
I know.
And
it would shuffle your deck, and that was it.
It's just hey, shuffle. Thanks.
But, do you know if the Slacker backers are able to get into beta?
The Slacker backers were able to get in beta. Unfortunately, there is no more Slacker backing, which is kind of a sad little disappointment.
Well, that's fine.
Will be sending.
Because honestly, the Kickstarter lasted about 3 months, right? Was it 3 to 6 months? And then the Slacker backer lasted a good 6 months after that. So it gave enough time to, you would assume, at least double the pool that is able to come in beta. So, I mean, I've seen a lot more chatter. There have been a ton more people in beta. I don't know if that's just because of renewed interest from alpha players or because the pool of people actually got that much bigger, but it's a notable difference.
Yeah, I'm just interested to see when the closed beta invites come out for anybody that signed up on the website, because they had that side website and they're going to release that into a couple of waves. And that's going to bring a whole new crop of people. You got the experienced players and the people that have been playing since the alpha, and then you've got the new beginner people who haven't played yet. So you're going to get a whole new group of people, might have a whole new view on the game, whole new strategies, whole new ways to counter, because you've got the people that are set in their ways right now that are playing the same decks in tournaments, and then you've got the people that don't know anything about the game that are going to try to stop that.
Yeah, and the Hex team has been very transparent about problems they know exist, and they want to let you know that, say you didn't get anything from your Kickstarter rewards, they want you to send in a ticket. Like, they're like, yeah, if you can prove that you paid for it, then we will give you your stuff. And they're very upfront about every aspect of their development. Like, they know that there's exploits that are going on right now, and they say that it's in the queue to get fixed, but
if you're exploiting, you will be punished.
Well, I don't know if they'd really punish you in the beta, would they?
No, they're going to.
Really?
They've put out some warnings. There was one with Replicator's Gambit, and they said if you are caught using this in a tournament, you will be severely punished.
What about casual though?
I don't think casual would be a problem, because if it just happens and you're fiddling around with it, you're still testing. But if you're exploiting and using it to win prizes, I think that's when they're going to take it.
Oh, absolutely, and they should, because the beta cards are going to transfer over to lives. So, yeah, lots of stuff happened. It's not really massive changes, but it's stuff you just gotta play and go look at and see and experience and get used to, and it's been a lot of fun so far.
Yeah, my experience with tournaments shows that I do not know this game very well. I can't draft for crap, and I don't want to pay for sealed, so I'm kind of sitting there at the spot where I'm like, well, I want to draft, but I don't want to lose in the first round.
Yeah, my first experience with the tournaments really turned me off from it, because apparently the metagame is exactly what I want to play, and everybody right now is playing the counter metagame. Like, I played mono white healing. It's got a lot of guys that benefit from when you heal, and honestly, I think playing a card, gaining 5 life off of it, and dealing 5 damage for like 3, which is pretty much the average of what my deck does, fantastic. And then I play that deck. Turn 2 comes around, and my opponent plays that red creature that stops all healing. I wanted to surrender right there, because my deck didn't have any hard removal in it, as long as the opponent doesn't attack. It's just got passive removal, and I'm just sitting here going, no, first damn game. I'm like, okay, fine. So he beat me that game. Second game rolls around. Turn 2, exact same thing happens. It was so demoralizing.
Well, what happened with me is I had a decent draft. I was actually recording it, and it was me drafting Orc Tribal, and I had a lot of good synergy. The first game I play, got awful hands. Awful card. I didn't get any of the creatures in there, and my opponent was able just to steamroll me. And it's just like, I don't want to show that, because it's me pretty much sitting there quietly cussing every time I couldn't get anything I needed. It's like, Argh. So there's my experience, but it's one of those things where you can't really control. Like with sealed, it's a little bit easier too, because you have everything up front. But when you're drafting, you don't know like what's going to happen.
Absolutely.
Hopefully we can, if you and I are in the same room, we won't rage when we lose. We'll just be a little bit more entertaining. So we're going to try to do that, see what happens.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm very excited for it. So, and I don't want to rage at you either, brother.
But that's really it for the beta. We'll try to update as soon as any patch comes out. This podcast will become kind of on and off when more things are updated. This way we can talk about it when things are happening, so we're not having like 3 to 4 weeks of same patch, nothing new has changed on the beta, this and that, this and that. So we'll update when we feel like there's something to talk about. And yeah, try to put out side videos of us playing tournaments, goofing around with cards, trying to build decks, all sorts of fun things.
Hot shit.
Oh, snap, son.
Oh, I'm so excited.
If you have any comments, suggestions, anything like that for the show, if you have any decks you want us to talk about, if there's anything at all you want us to cover, let us know. We would love to hear from you. You can send us an email at spastigaming@gmail.com. You can leave us a comment section down below. You can send it to us on Facebook or Twitter. Both of those are on the description down below. We love to improve our show. We love to hear from people. And yeah, we just love interacting and hopefully making the show more about the community as well as our own personal opinions, because hearing people with 2 similar opinions, it's not as fun as hearing a whole community of people with varied opinions.
Yeah, Water and I were basically clones on most subjects, so your feedback will improve this show.
But anyways, this has been Water Elemental.
And Jolly Great.
And we'll see you at the next major update.
See you on the flip side.
Homie.